What?
Maybe our thoughts have changed. Like there was a tweet. Yari Kente, Wana Hai got a love bite. Atwakai Kai, Ajega, Hajega, the father or stepfather, Unkile Founu, Amkutamri.
What, did a stepfather or father? That's important information.
Stepfather.
Stepfather.
I think it was stepfather.
That's even worse.
Nee. Ankafouna Amkutamri. And she laughed. And she laughed.
Cool.
As a woman retelling the story to the timeline.
She was laughing.
Yeah, she laughed at it. She laughed at it. And obviously there was outrage, with regards to embarrassment, discipline. Why do you have to cut the hair, take the phone? That you could have used that as an opportunity to speak about sex with your 14-year-old.
Yeah, don't even take the phone. Just speak to her about sex.
That's
not a punishable moment, bro. Yeah, you can punish that, but don't punish the sex. It's very important not to punish the sex, because once you punish the sex, it dictates
how they deal with sex going
forward.
Yeah.
And we are seeing it in each other now, in our sexual relations with each other.
Yeah. Because I never had a sex talk.
Because of how we were introduced into sex.
I learned sex from the streets, bro.
Yeah.
Because we never had that talk.
That's why we done. And coerce. And force.
My nigga, that's a convo.
Yeah.
That's a fucking convo.
That's why we do what we do. We do what we do because that's how we were introduced into sex. And that's how they are able to receive the manner in which we solicit sex from them as normal. Because sex is taboo.
Yeah, and it never gets brought up, bro. It really never gets brought up, especially in the South African society amongst black kids. How we learn, like the majority of us, how we learn from sex, or learn about sex, it's from the streets, bro. It's really from the streets. It's really from the streets. Women learn from the streets. Niggas learn from the streets, bro.
That's why Beta and the people that we rape are able to view what we did
as not rape. Hey, like I was telling Hore, like back in the days, we would get told, Hore, partying, you spike that shit. We were told, Hore, you gotta spike it.
Hey. Yeah, and you'll be drinking from it too.
Yeah, I'm drinking there too. I'm drinking there.
You're drinking from the Spanish flag. You're drinking from it too. But to you, that's not rape to you.
No. And it's not rape for her too. Because Lena starting, that's what niggas do. There has to be punch at the party. If there's no punch at the party, you ain't fucking these niggas. It's wild, fun. That's how we learn.
So if that's what you're gonna do when your 14-year-old comes into the house with a love bite, my nigga, I feel sorry for her. She's in trouble.
Yeah, it's wild, bro. Yeah.
Not because well, I guess because that's a violent act. Cutting someone's hair is a violent act.
Yeah.
It's not the same as taking a phone.
Yes.
Because people try to compare it with other things. If you take a phone, if I take a phone, is that also child abuse? But cutting someone's hair is a gross violation.
It's a gross violation.
Yeah,
it's a gross violation.
Hair is meant to humiliate.
Yeah, it's humiliate.
Yeah.
Like hair is to me is something. Like I wouldn't go and cut someone's hair in jail. Like it's a gross violation. And if you feel that is something that you can do to a child, because the child is not gonna because you doing it to a child and you think it's not that big of a deal because but that child is gonna take it the same way that you would have taken it if someone would have cut your hair. And think about what that does to their psychological.
Yeah, it's still an impressionable teen.
Yeah, like
it's
a lot, bro.
Because my stance has changed ever since I had a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like with my boy when he's sick, man. There were instances with Tola Unakula and he would we would get prescribed medication. Yes, please. We would get prescribed medication, and my boy doesn't want to take this medicine. It's good for him, Jole. But the way we had to administer
The medication.
the medication was rough. And unalla jo. Utolo I had to sort of like pin him down.
Yeah.
And take, but yo, the way Anna Bokol jo, the way Anna Bokol and even now, bruh, even now, whenever I show that syringe that I would use to force feed him the medicine, like you can see him cower, Lino.
He doesn't like it.
Yeah, at all.
So do you think it's the medicine or the way in which you presented it to
It's
him?
the way I presented it. I would force it. I would force it.
But the difference about that instance and this instance that you were not doing that an act that could be seen as an uncomfortable to punish. You were doing it to build.
Yes, but what the point I was trying to make is that like these things are lingering in children.
Yeah.
Like whenever you are doing something that is really uncomfortable, that is humiliating
to
to
them.
humiliate, you know, it sticks. We can't just say "Rikibana," they'll forget. They don't, bro. They don't.
It's like
They
It's
don't.
like when people say, you know, we went through these things, we turned out fine.
Yeah.
Nigga, you're not.
We're not
Nah,
fine.
you're not fine, bro. You're not okay.
You're not, bro.
Yeah.
I
You are functioning.
I was telling my girl about like, you know, dynamics surrounding my childhood, you know. These are usually things that I'm able to speak about. And I can't remember what I was telling her, but like it happened recently. No, just like how like my mother struggled, you know, to bring us up. She was a single mother. And like my voice broke in the middle of
that discussion.
Yeah.
trying to tell her that
Yeah,
thing, you know.
narrated.
And like, bro, I'm 33. I've spoken about this like a million times before. Why is it making me cry now? You know, like why is it hitting me? You know, like and that tells me that
There's a trauma.
there's
a
something
trauma
there.
There's a trauma.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a trauma there, bro.
Yeah. There's a
trauma.
Yeah,
There's
a trauma.
something there.
Yeah. There's a.
And all of us have it, bro.
We all have it.
Libona baring, I turned out fine. Libona fana when they narrate this shit. Where the fact that your dad would beat the shit out of you for no reason. Hi sharp and fun. Even though you are functioning. You are functioning a person with trauma.
And I think people confuse fine with the fact that I'm not destitute or
destructive.
I'm not in a worst off position. Just because I'm not in a worst off position.
And you're not distracted.
Yes,
That's important.
yes, yes. That now that's not synonymous with being fine. It's
just
almost like it's a lucky
functioning with some
escape.
bullshit.
Just because you have a job,
Yes,
and you
it's
take
a lucky
care of your
escape.
kids
Yeah,
and
you are
your
functioning with some
family.
bullshit, bro.
It's a lucky escape. But now for me, whenever I look at, because I was also raised by a single mother, I suppose growing up into maturity and understanding concepts from reading and whatnot, it was easy for me to forgive my mother from a distance because I also appreciated the cards she was dealt.
You see, I was saying to my brother that when you were a child, so you grow up as a toddler, and when you're a toddler, everybody's fussing over you. You know, everybody is wawapadisa. You are treated very gently.
You're a star.
You are loved by everyone, even the father who's not known to give physical affection gives you that, but for the mere fact that you're a child. Once you grow up, that falls away first from the father. The father doesn't give. He starts treating you with a more harsh stance. The father. He's no longer kissing you. He's no longer hugging you.
Yeah.
Right. The mother might still be doing that up until
you're a
your
teenager,
teens.
yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Late
but then
teens.
once you get into your teen, then your parents start to become an impediment. Your parents are blockers because they're stopping you from doing all the things that you want
That
to do.
you want to do.
Career wise,
Yeah.
whatever wise.
And that's and that's why for most people, parent-child relationships come under a lot of strain in the teen years.
teen years.
Because he or she sees you as somebody that's always
Or block out.
you just stop everything that makes me happy. You want
You
to
wanna
fucking
block
stop
it.
it.
Yeah.
You want me to see the love of my life.
And,
You're
and,
a
and,
gatekeeper,
I don't see. I don't understand why unstop. You never used to stop me before.
I want to see my boyfriend. Quain. I want to eat.
Quain.
Till I'll
Because
join them
it's
in Quain.
Quain.
Find out my mom used to torment me with fucking salt, bruh. It's my fucking piece of meat. Why the fuck can't I put salt on it?
Nah, it's not good for you.
Yeah, because your mom is from the health.
You know, like
industry.
Quain,
Yeah.
like you know. So all through my teens, You and your parents are enemies. For the most part. And then you grow up.
And then
You graduate, you make some money, and you start to experience some of the difficulties that he or she went through, your parents.
that's where the understanding comes
Yeah,
from.
that's where the understanding comes from. So then you revert back to either a cordial or friendship relationship with your parents. You become a lot closer.
Yeah, because now you understand.
You have things in common. You understand why she behaved or treated you the way that she did when you were younger. You know, she might have been wrong a lot of times, but you don't hold a grudge against her.
Or
for
the
it.
intention is never wrong. The act may be.
The act may have been wrong, but the intention was not
never
wrong.
wrong.
Right?
The intention
So you
was
start to
never wrong.
forgive us for a lot of things, or some of the things that she did that she might not have necessarily
Meant harm.
apologized for.
Or apologize for, yes.
Parents, we don't apologize.
You know, she did not apologize for those things, you know, but you were able to forgive her for them because you understood where she came from. Now, there are parents, but those are special cases that still carry those toxic traits even into this day.
Now.
That's where you'll find
As an adult.
there's still a lot of people that don't get along with their parents.
Yeah.
That see their mother figures as toxic people and so on and so forth. But I'm talking about under normal circumstances where you get back to your parent and they've also changed and they've also learned and they learn from you too.
Sure.
Because you come back
And you let
into
them
the house
know.
and you introduce new ideas,
Ideas.
new ways
Concepts.
of doing things.
Yeah.
There could be a little cousin or your son or grandchild in the house that might not be yours, and you start to be able to advise them on how to handle certain things concerning the child.
Sure.
So they learn from you too.
Yeah.
And over time, the relationship then sort of
Becomes better.
it improves.
Yeah, it improves. It gets reconfigured.
Yeah, it gets reconfigured, you know. But you also understand that these people are a product of their
Environment.
of their own environment. I mean, bro, look, like, just think about 80s kids. An 80s kid, right? Think about a typical 80s kid. You were made in the 80s. You were born in the 80s.
Yeah.
Right? What do you think your parent was going through at that time?
Bro. And apartheid.
Bro, that is peak. So, like, you know when they say that there's the calm before the storm?
Yeah.
The 80s was the storm before the calm.
Car. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what the 80s
Politically,
were.
yes.
Were politically
Yeah.
definitely.
And that's when you were born,
Yeah.
right? And she was what? She was probably younger than you are right now.
Now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So she must have been 22, 23,
Yeah, my mom was early 20s. bro.
25,
Yeah.
right? Peak apartheid, fucking political turmoil all over the fucking place. People are disappearing. People are being arrested. People are dying. Leaders are falling.
Left, right, and center.
Fathers are laborers.
Yeah.
You know, bro, it's a tough time.
It's wild.
It's a tough time. All you have to deal with today is your job and the personality of the person that you've decided to spend the rest of your life with.
And that's it.
And that's it.
That's it. She has to deal with both. Or
And-
he has to deal with both.
and this-
this other political shit.
This oppressive system down
This oppressive system that has caused a lot of trauma,
to everybody.
Economically, psychologically,
everybody.
right?
spiritually.
Especially psychologically to our parents.
Yeah.
And she had to raise you during those times.
Yeah,
How
because-
easy do you think? How well do you think you would have handled that pressure?
Yeah. And you hear Joe, wo lady now Joe is okay. Wo lady na service at the kitchen.
She can't work any way she wants. Bro.
Yeah.
She can't get whatever education she wants, and she still has you
Can't
to
follow
take
her
care
dreams.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can't focus. Bro.
Because old lady una spend the kitchen at a study to be a teacher. You can just imagine, bro. You can just imagine.
So now, how much? So if you were to compare the quality of parenting, or her quality of parenting, as the kitchening, taking care of other people's kids while raising you, right? Would it be fair to compare her parenting
to how
today's
we are
parenting.
raising
To
kids
yours?
now.
No, you
No.
can't.
No.
You can't.
No.
You can't.
No. And again, you know, when you're looking back and you're seeing your parents, even those things, even though those things hurt you, but you can put those things into context. Like we can't just sit and just say, "Okay, our parents in a product of their environment."
Those
bro.
people went through a lot.
Yeah, a lot, bro. A lot.
And I'm not saying that they need to be all the way forgiven. I'm not saying that.
No.
But I'm saying that there needs to be some concessions that you need to make yourself, especially understanding
Putting things into
what
context.
you're going through now, which were the same thing that they went through, and also understanding what they went through that you don't have to deal with today.
Yeah. There's context.
It's different. And then there are people that are just pieces of shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's somebody who's a piece of shit. It doesn't matter if it was the 70s, 80s, 90s. They would have been a piece of shit.
yeah.
You would have been
Yeah.
a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're
But as
not
an
talking about
adult,
the
you'll be able
outliers.
to make that discernment.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're not talking about those extreme cases where it
Yeah.
was abuse in the house.
Yeah, like,
You know what I mean?
like our parents have a lot of flaws, bro. Like I speak to my mother sometimes. I'm like, "Oh, lady, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Like, you did that because that was the environment in which you were living. You can't bring that up now.
Yeah.
It's not relevant.
And it doesn't apply.
It's not relevant. You're wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
How it's actually supposed to be is this way, but you're unable to do that because of 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah.
and that's okay. I don't blame you for it.
I
But
remember
you're wrong.
one of the most fundamental ideological differences I had with my mom was when you start building a household with somebody, because the template they came from is that you emulate your parents. You know, you know, le taba tsa mabitso, for example, ngwana o reellwa ke ntate ke mohao. And me and my wife, we like cosmopolitan. We have a theme around our kids' names. And we decided that in our bedroom. And now I have to come and say, yeah, but according to my mom, this. So that's one thing. Then my mom comes from a traditional church environment where if you know, but I'm coming from an environment where I say, but me, I'm starting to have I've started becoming inquisitive and questioning a lot of religion. But to you, religion represents, it's almost like to you, you feel like religion was, when everything else was going wrong, you could hold on to religion. I'm saying, but religion was also part of the problem. But she can't see that religion was also part of the problem. Right? And I could be wrong in the way I'm expressing it. But I'm saying, I'm questioning religion. You never had you actually saw religion as solace.
You see, you speaking on religion, then that's the part I don't touch. You understand?
It's very contagious.
And I don't touch it because of the contention. That's not why I don't touch it.
Yeah.
I don't touch it because if it wasn't for the faith and belief in that, I would not have made it.
Yeah.
You understand? She needed that to have the resilience
Yeah.
that was required
Yes.
to have me sitting
I
in
was
the
going
chair.
there, funny enough.
But like you said,
To her it was solace.
It was solace.
So
You understand?
Yes.
Yeah, but the solace is the one part because it speaks for her, right? But
you also recognize that it benefited you.
benefited you.
yeah, I'm more speaking to what it did to benefit me. It could have been a lie,
Yeah.
right?
But you two seeds.
It could have been a lie, but had she not believed in that lie as hard
As she did. And
as hard as she
with the
did,
conviction she did. Yes.
with the conviction that she did, we would not have made it.
Yes, I agree
well,
with that part. I
She
agree.
could have given up.
And a lot of our parents are like that, bro.
That's why who to o phela ka thapelo tsa
Yeah, we are
mama.
products of praying parents.
Yeah.
So, but where I was taking it, I'm now taking the lifestyle part of religion. So, in other words, everyday Sunday church. Tlamehile re be le buka. Bana tlamehile ba kokolobetswe. You know, I'm not talking about the psychological impact of. I'm saying the lifestyle of religion.
But
So
it's all part and
all
parcel.
in-
yes.
encompassing,
So
yeah.
I'm not living or I don't subscribe to the lifestyle
Lifestyle
of religion
part of
because
it.
the lifestyle says every Sunday le akoreking bana ba kolobetswa mabitso a bana jena. So I'm not subscribing to that, but I'm not taking away the value of what I believe religion as a cushion psychologically
Represented.
might have presented benefits to me. But in moving forward with my life, I started saying to my mom, yes, this is the 100% that you're saying I should be emulating, but I'm questioning 30%. From a lifestyle point of view, and then I'm politicizing, I'm mixing these concepts. I'm bringing a political element to religion. I'm bringing a spiritual element to religion. Because it's not always the same, right? So, because religion is constitutional. Or it's institutional. Let me say, yeah, it's institutional, but it's got a spiritual element. Then it was a political element. So now having been in Leonard, se ke qala ke ipotsa me taba tsa badimo di feature ka Catholic. Wabo?
Hey,
Ke tjho jwalo. Be ke re, hey.
But the conversation there, it's wild. Bro.
But you see my point.
I get you.
My point is that I will start having all these questions. Wabo? And then rebellion friction. So what I'm trying to say is that even when I feel that now my ideological direction is this, I will never ever totally disregard because my mom came under a different environment. So I can rutela religion. I can rutela gene.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
I will go tell you all the
Because
way.
I understand the value it holds for her,
Yes.
right? I understand the value it holds.
And there's a tag the way we go tell Angati.
Hey, there's a tag.
How
Hey, but amongst my peers, if I have a peer now that we argue about religion and they're still subscribing to religion, I'll be all out.
Yeah.
But when it comes to my mom,
how there's
she comes from a different environment. One rappella, wetang. But that conversation is not the same. It will not have the same texture as when I'm calling your bluff on why you still believe in religion, because I feel like we are peers, we were exposed to that. So in other words, when I talk to Des, I'm like, Des, you should see the agenda for what it is.
And it's the same. It's the same conversation. It's the same conversation when we start talking about the disciplines we experienced under those households. You know what I'm saying? Like
Corporal punishment
yeah,
versus-
corporal punishment. Yeah, because when you go back and you speak to your parents about how they handle certain situations, it makes it. You can understand that why they did.
Because the apartheid regime was a violent regime. That's why corporal punishment was easy to forgive.
But just because
Skit and donor.
just because
and donor.
you can understand doesn't make the way anyway handled say
Right.
right.
Yes, it was not right.
Meaning doesn't necessarily just because we survive doesn't mean now you have
can
to
carry
mete
to your kids.
now have to met it out under these circumstances.
So now here's a span in the works, right? Because you are also a product of your environment or of how this person that carries a lot of trauma raised you. You are also unable to articulate your feelings effectively to this person. So now whenever you have to tell them that they are wrong, you don't know how to do that in the correct manner.
Yes.
Yeah.
So every time you have to do it, it causes more friction
And fights.
then it solves the problem. Because you're wrong.
You're wrong.
In the correct manner.
Yeah. Without it seeing because
Because you are emotionally inadept
to do that.
how na yona le ene, because you were raised by this person that was also emotionally inadept.
Bro, even
But because they're emotional being, they need to be handled with care too. But you don't know how to handle them with care. They were never taught how to handle you with care, so they don't either.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Ibe giddy folk to folk. That's why you'll find a lot of people right now that don't get along with their parents.
Not going home for the holiday. That is the theme I saw. Like when
Our parents are toxic.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, but
hey,
anyway, like
get
there are
high.
people that literally have really toxic, hostile relationship with their parents. Like it's bad, bro. It's one of the
What?
saddest things that you'll ever see.
I've never come across
It's
anybody
really
that
fucking terrible.
that's
Like
dealing with that, bro.
it's like, some people even say like, "Motho ha kampashwa."
Oh, I've seen Vincent talk about his mom.
And he wasn't the first.
He's the only one I know.
So now can you imagine there's a lot of people that have those relationships with their parents.
Yeah, that's hectic.
It's bad, bro.
It's hectic. It's hectic.
People can't remember when is the last time they received some sort of reassurance or affection from Mutswadi. They don't know what that looks like.
And your relationship with your parent it's your first relationship, bro.
Yeah, that's the first relationship.
Yeah, it's your first relationship.
So it's tough, bro.
So if that one is toxic,
Chances are even your romantic ones are gonna be toxic.
yeah, chances
And
are.
your friendships are gonna be toxic.
See now it puts a burden on everyone else. Because then I go seeking what I was missing from my mother, from my girl. She goes seeking what she was missing from her father
To you.
to me. I feel like it's a burden. I can't carry it.
Yeah.
It's too heavy.
And it's unfair.
Yeah, And it's unfair. You're not supposed to carry it.
It's too heavy, but that's just the cards
That you are dealt.
we were dealt.
It's funny because like how the first relationship that you have is mother father, ne? But I also say even the mother father or even romantic relationships are cousins of mother father relationships because you learn nurturing, you learn being attended to, you learn being listened to in these, it's just that lerato le ke nang le wena for wena is not from a DNA point of view. So what you then find is that there are women that the concept of daddy issues, where I have never received this type of attention, this type of love, this type of care outside of a male figure until I met my boyfriend.
And consideration.
And a lot of times,
When someone asks you, when someone
sharp.
asks you, not even of sharp,
I was
never
thinking
mind of
that,
sharp.
yeah.
When somebody asks you, Hore, and this is important, Hore Tabang, what do you think?
Being invited. Yeah.
No one in your entire life
Has ever invited your opinion?
hae
Yeah.
sekolong mosebetsing
Yeah.
has ever said to you, Tabang,
Your opinion matters.
What do you think of this?
what your opinion matters.
Yeah.
We may not go with
And
it.
you only get that, Mfana, and I like that you only get that later, bro.
You get that late.
You get that late in your fucking life. Like you go around your whole fucking teens, early adulthood, where your opinion matters none.
Yeah, so your father buys you skirts
None.
and never asks you whether you like pens.
Bro, it matters none until you like in your late 20s, maybe.
And then somebody's asking, that's a mind fuck. Like, whoa, my opinion actually matters?
Yeah.
Somebody actually cares about what I think?
Jesus, bro.
Now here's a flip side though. The flip side is it's about power as well. It's about how most black people, because we've never had access to power. So when we have it, the first thing about it shocks us. It shocks me that I'm the head of department. I could have never fathomed. Ne? So it shocks me
You're
that
not groomed for
I may have had I may have had the inspirations of being one, but when it happens, it actually shocks me. Hey, Janskin na CEO. Then after it shocks me, acting it paralyzes me. It's a
like
paralysis. Yeah. Tabang, you just say the word and the party's over.
It's happening.
We are at a hotel. When you say we are closing the tap, it's on you. And then I look at everybody having fun, right? And I'm like, I have to protect the company's interest because I'm going to go over budget. But I still have this thing of I want to be endearing to people. Now it's a mind fuck. Well, I can stop the party. But I'm also the reason why people are having fun at the party. So now I don't know how to exercise power. So what I do is that I exchange my power for being endeared to. So I want to endear myself to people.
Which doesn't serve you.
Which doesn't serve me
In
and doesn't
corporate.
serve me
In
for the
corporate.
role that I'm in. Because now the role that I'm in, I have to protect the company's interests. So a lot of times when and sometimes it can also work the opposite way where people come with proposals, and when they come with a proposal, like let's say the dojo come, they present this thing to you, and you're like, I like this thing, and then you second guess yourself. No, they wanna say I chose the dojo because they are my friends or they look like me, but the dojo ticks all the boxes for you to make the decision. But the only thing holding you back is that you feel the way that you feel, or if there was to be an investigation into this thing. Whereas Mahua is the opposite. Mahua Bare, firstly, I am supporting you because you are my kind. The fact that you tick the boxes is the qualifier. But it's not the driver.
But we question.
The driver is that I want to give this business to a white person. Then the secondary thing is that white person
needs
must
to
take it.
qualify.
So now I need to use those things to defend myself. So now ours is invest. So we feel like even if all the boxes take,
Because
I
it
still
looks
have this,
like you.
Yeah, I still like, I know people are gonna now I mustn't post with these guys. You know what I mean? Is that we don't know how to accept this thing. So that's why even in relationships is that once now your opinion starts being invited, ne? It's a mind fuck because you were never trained that you are an equal voice. Yeah, you You're training from
yeah, and
your...
white people get groomed of this early on.
You're not
bro.
groomed or trained, because grooming and training is the same thing. You are never groomed that you are an equal.
I mean, you are raised telling who wanna.
And
your
you know then what?
your opinion doesn't matter in this house.
That's why the whole concept that GBV, in only that mind fuck, lerato, legend. Why must I be different from my mom? Because so
try
mama,
Bonnie.
Musadi, how to definition of Musadi? What kind of a man invites a woman's opinion about what needs to be done in the house? That's a weak man.
Yeah, and ba makala
yeah,
le bona
because
when
that's
you
what
ask
we
her,
saw.
That's a weak man.
ba
that's what
makala
you
le bona
saw.
gore mona so baby jwale
Ke
gore
tsang.
ntwe re etsa wa that's why I batla a man with a plan
Yeah.
cuz abana yona
Hey,
just said
and that order.
cuz abana yona
It's not. They were brought up to not have plans.
we were all brought up to
feel
for
a-
that
a
mindset
role.
yeah
Yeah, to
but
fill a role.
now we are forcing you to come to the table oh
Which is what equality
because-
looks like.
yeah because I see as an equal
Yeah.
right I'm not going to have the plan we are going to have a plan
Let's co-create one
Yeah.
yeah, we will create a plan together.
together.
I'm not the one that's coming with a plan. Fuck out of here.
Bro.
Which ideologically and politically is a good thing for me to come to you and say, I actually don't have a plan. You know? And we need to co-create on how do we get out of the hole. I'm actually showing you how, because that's more important than me coming to with $1 million that you don't know where it comes from. Because I'm disempowering you. And I'm drawing this parallel so much that in South Africa, or in race relations, is that most black people are enjoying privileges and comforts and conveniences that they don't know how to create.
You see, that's why I was saying that. I think we had a discussion around being the leader and being the one that's a servant, that's a subservient. The whole power servant dynamics, where there's no way in the world where there's someone who's more powerful and there's a person that's less powerful, and the person that's less powerful is not a servant to the one that's powerful. Yes. It's, by nature, if I'm more powerful, you're going to be
Subservient
to me. You're going to be subservient to me.
Not that I'm going to be abusive.
Yeah, you're going to be subservient to me. So, black and white, woman, man, animal, human,
Moneyed, non-moneyed.
money, you're going to be, if you are less than me,
You will be subservient.
you will be subservient, right? And you being subservient to me has its perks, but it has its cons too, because I have to carry more responsibility because I'm the more dominant one in the relationship.
Yes.
I have to carry more responsibility. There's certain things that I'm not allowed to cry
About. Word.
right? So when shit hits the fan, I need to make a plan for that. And you're not burdened with that responsibility.
It comes with the territory, yes.
No matter what I dissolve at that.
Eh, but then that's in the face of adversity. So how le monate? I will reap more of the benefits.
Sure. It's a one-for-one
Because I pay
relationship.
more of the fucking risk.
Because
yeah.
I carry most of the burden when things are not good. Right? But because now you also want to share in
Spoils.
the benefit, the spoil.
The risk.
I have to make you share in the hard times too.
Yeah.
So you can't come to me and say, what are we going to do?
What are we going to do?
Nah.
Now. What are we going
Nah.
to do?
Manje uzwenzani?
Eh?
Manje uzwenzani? But-
And have you seen these women on social media like posting niggas Otolore she's coming with a problem and then the guy says sorry so who is la joie? And they post that shit.
When they
They post it as a clowning.
Yeah, and it makes me feel insecure every time my girl comes to me and she asks me about something. I'm like, okay, so what you gonna do? The first thing that pops up in my head, I'm like, oh,
You
fuck.
saw the tweet.
I'm like, oh shit.
Because you saw the
And then I
fucking...
think about it, but I stand tall and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, so what are you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
Because that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
That's what you all want.
You know, it's around, you know, or I'll say, okay, retro is around. What are we gonna do?
You own 50%.
Yeah. And then now,
because it's your problem, but I own half of it. So what are we going to do to solve
Yeah,
this?
how are
thing?
we gonna fix
And
it?
sometimes I get frustrated when
She wants
'cause
100% ownership.
I realize how she sometimes tried to throw the problem back in me. You know, to say, you know, like, and she's not necessarily throwing it back at me. She's not really throwing it back at me, but she says she doesn't know. But when she says she doesn't know, it implicitly.
It
must know.
implicitly says
must
you
know.
should know.
Yeah, it gives me. It puts me under the pressure that I should know now because we can't both not know.
Because
Even things as simple as where to eat.
Where we going out tonight?
You know, if you don't know where we're gonna eat, I have to know that. So if you don't know that, or if I don't know that, and you don't know
there's
that,
no eating happening.
Boy, I get to be khaletse.
And then in surprising most of the time Kaba side is that they will want a hybrid of that within that relationship. You know, utolore when there's discussions of direction a relationship, whatever, can resolve really too when there's issues, you know, that they really care for. It needs to be 50-50. You know what I'm saying? I can't take a hard stance, you know, on things. But it's expected on other things. I can take a hard stance because in that time, maybe if like, but when I'm like, yo, but when we were discussing this, we did it mutually, and we came to a conclusion mutually. Let that apply across the board. Across the board,
yeah. So it means that she needs to let go of something. You got.
I gotta let go of certain things, and it's uncomfortable for both of us. But
it's not nice.
Yeah, it's not nice. I'm uncomfortable too. So get it. But for the betterment of this relationship, Vele, that's the sacrifice we.
Also,
I
I feel like when it comes to gender dynamics, there's this trade-off between men and women as natural or biological entities versus them as political entities. That in a relationship, there is a project around masculinity as a political entity.
So for example, there are DIY things that my girl wants to do around the house. These are not. These are things that she's never considered doing herself. So it speaks to the biological thing, right? So if I need to drill a nail there, hang up a painting there, you know, repurpose some shelves here and there, those are duties that she automatically assigns to me.
You gotta
using a biological filter.
Yeah, filter.
Using a biological scale. Yeah. And I'm not really mad at that.
Yeah.
You know. But when it comes to the domestic stuff, I gotta share in that shit.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Because
you still can do it too.
Yeah, no, because
you still can do it too.
No, but because there's a dichotomy. The dichotomy is that, remember, even oppression finds inspiration or finds traction in the biological cards that we were dealt. That's why I was able to manipulate it. For example, if I go to somebody who is naturally timid, it's easy to bully them. So I exploited something that was already natural of them. Des is short and big. Right? Then, out of Des being a bullied one, he may rally and lobby that he gets all other people, and then him being a person that's being bullied, he's a political entity. Or I don't know other, but now I've galvanized all people that are bullied. So the point is that because far often we have as men said, even though it's true that a woman's place is in the kitchen biologically, we then abused it to abuse them politically. To then say our role is in the struggle. We won't fight. That's why we also clown on a man that's a cook. Because we're saying those traits somehow resembles a woman. Even if your food is nice. That's what I'm saying. Then what then happens is that because then they compartmentalize it. They are saying, in the kitchen, I want you to demonstrate that you are relinquishing the political power that you have about being a man. But the biological traits that make you a man, I will exploit them 100% in that area.
So what am I exploiting in you, biologically, as a man?
I can't exploit.
Nothing, because now being a political inferior in this relationship means a man has to let go more of the stuff, because politically and economically the man still holds the power.
Okay.
You see, that's what I'm trying to say. Is that, so they are feeling like, from how we've been treated, I take your surname, you are the one that works, you want the one that makes money. Sometimes I don't know how you make the money.
I can take that.
You get my point? So now as women,
Bullshit. Well, not bullshit. It's not nice,
bullshit,
but
it's not bullshit.
I can take it.
Yeah. So now I feel like you as a man, coming from where you come from, ne, I no longer have to make logical sense to you. You've had so many. You've trampled upon your rights so much that you can't be asking me to have consideration for you. And yes, the optics of it look
can.
unfair.
No. It's a buaho that
And I will.
For better utopia, I would have to be uncomfortable.
Hanyan.
Meaning, I gotta do some fucking sweeping. You know what
No,
I'm
that's
saying?
fine. Sweeping doesn't take much from my life.
Yeah.
But when I'm pitching up the fence outside,
Matara.
it will be there.
Yeah. Come help ya.
O go tlo tshwara palo ena. Tshwara palo ena. Yeah, well, you know the wrench, when you take the wrench.
Yeah. Tshwara right there.
Tshwara palo, o go tshwara palo da.
Hey.
O go tshwara palo.
Hey.
Hoba nna ha ke kena ka tlung, o tsamaya o ya ba kgotsing ba hao. O sia dijana ka senkeng.
I gotta
Ha o
watch that
gutla
shit.
mono, o tlo lebella hore o gutle ke
Dihlatswitse.
dihlatswitse. Di le school. Mara na can't go home ke sile terata e wele and expect you or ke gutle terata e kgolo. So ha ke etsa terata ne ke tlo bitsa. Ha re go etsa terata e mona. Ha go hlomang terata.
My nigga. That is uncomfortable too. That for them. I want to get
go
like,
hloma terata.
it speaks to that.
O go tswa ka samente mono. Le chipe mokoti.
Kaya mod.
Wa no gona ke re ga di etsisa ntho tse ka tlung.
Yeah.
Ha ke nka ntle he.
Yeah.
Ha ke ka ntle.
Yeah. Tama lo mixa samente. A lo mixa gara.
And I ka seke.
She won't, bro. She won't.
A ka seke.
She won't.
Mara ha ka gutla.
Yeah.
Ho le ditshila ka tlung.
It's your ass.
That's your ass.
Or cutting the grass, bro, because I wanna.
That's your ass.
Like even Bali can handle mchino okuta juang.
But she won't.
Just the act of it.
But you're not gonna come back from work, complain about the garden and put it on her.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been sitting here all
You've been
day.
sitting.
Why didn't you mow
Why don't you
the
cut
lawn?
the grass?
Yeah. But she'll tell you that shit about the dishes.
About the dishes. Yeah. Okay, you could have easily washed the dishes.
You could have easily taken the lawnmower.
The
out
lawnmower and
garage
pushed it.
And go lawn that bitch.
It's not an
It's on
effort.
wheels.
It's on wheels, bro.
I get the same thing.
Go mow that shit. Go lawn that shit.
It's the same thing. If I say to my wife, ke lakatsa stampo le mohodu, which is very labor intensive, she'll make the optics of it don't look funny. But if I want bride meat, which is 20% times less time, she feels like, nah, I
don't want to make a fire.
I'm not
You're
making
supposed to do it.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't
making
wanna make
fire
a
for a
fire.
man and bride meat for a man,
Nah, fuck
because
that.
we've told ourselves that the optics of making fire belong
for
to
a
a man,
man.
even though it requires less effort than Semp and Octane.
Dojo.